Yo, what's up guys, XGeNReal here. Now I want to talk to you guys about the most awkward moment in my life, and this was around a week and a half ago, and this was on Saturday. Now, I started out the day on Saturday by going to kettlebell training, and that's basically, if you don't know what kettlebells are, they're basically a bowling ball with a handle on them, and you swing them and you perform various exercises. It's a good overall workout, and if you really want to just get useful strength, not just like being able to push a bar or something, but actual strength that you can use. And first off, I did that for 2 hours, and that wore me out, because I don't normally do that workout, and since it's a new workout, I'm tired from that. Then I have Muay Thai, and that's also pretty tiring, and then I have Jiu-Jitsu, which probably is the most tiring for me overall, because you're drilling for around 2 hours, and then if you choose to, you can stay after the class and spar if they don't have a sparring session in the middle of the class. So I do that, and I wind up leaving the place at like 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock p.m. So I'm there for roughly 6 to 7 hours, just training, working out. So I'm already tired. I'm drenched in sweat. I just want to go home, drink some protein, eat some food, and go to sleep. So right when I leave the place, I put on my iPod, and I listen to the Joe Rogan Experience. Now, if you're not familiar with that, it's a pretty funny podcast that has some great information, and Joe Rogan hosts it, and he's the UFC commentator, he's a comedian, he's a great dude, and then there's also the guy who basically runs it named Brian Redban. Now, Brian Redban is a funny individual himself, but he says some of the most random things in the middle of a podcast. You could be in the middle of a discussion about, like, fucking the UFC fighting, like, Michael Bisping, and he'll say something about dolphin sex and how he wants to have it, and you'll be like, what the fuck, and you just start laughing. He's just funny as hell, and I just start bursting out laughing. And these two girls, one of them was kind of fat, so I didn't give a shit about her, and that sounds fucked up, but she just wasn't that pretty. And I'm not that good looking myself. I'm not like fucking Channing Tatum or some shit, but she just wasn't my type. And the girl who was sitting directly next to me, they were friends. They were talking to each other. I don't know if they were like friends, but was fucking hot. And when I mean hot, I mean like fucking, oh my god, like Eva Longoria, Jessica Alba, had like a kid who was just 10 times hotter than both of them. And this sounds creepy. It is creepy. She smelled beautiful. And first off, she sits next to me. I'm like, alright, I'm fine with that. But I'm listening to my podcast, and I start getting into it, and I start laughing. And these two girls look at me, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm laughing out loud. Everybody can hear me. I'm causing a fucking scene. So I immediately take out my iPod, and I change it to something else. I change it to some music. And I listen to classic rock. I listen to grunge. I listen to a wide variety of different types of music, but generally I'll listen to like Nirvana, Alice in Chains, or something along those terms, which is not that like heavy metal-ish. It's not really that exciting, so I immediately start to doze off and I fall asleep on the train. Now, first off, this is New York. You should never fall asleep on the train, because one of two things: you're either going to fall asleep and your stuff is going to get robbed, or somebody's going to mug you and take your stuff. That happens all the time. There are videos on YouTube of like somebody dozing off and some guy just punches him in the face, grabs his like Beats or whatever, and just runs off the train, and you can't do anything about it because it's New York. So I fall asleep, and when I wake up, first off, no, I didn't get robbed, luckily, but I leaned over, and I was literally leaning basically on her like side boob, on her shoulder, just falling asleep on this hot girl next to me. And first off, I slowly get up and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I look at her, and she has this kind of like puzzled look on her face, like not really angry, but kind of annoyed, like, you fell asleep on me, didn't want to wake you up, I'm a nice person, but go fuck yourself, like that kind of look. And I'm like 2-3 inches away from her face, and I'm just like, what the fuck did I just do? I feel like a total asshole, and I wanted to be like, I'm sorry, but I'm awkward as hell. And I just look at her, and we just are like really close contact for like 10-15 seconds, and neither of us is saying anything. And then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what could I do to make this just like an awesome story to tell my friends? So I was like, maybe I should kiss her. I don't have any balls, so I didn't do that. So I just stared at her for like 10 more seconds, and I just like looked away awkwardly and just waited for my stop and got out of there and never looked back. So that's how fucking awkward I am, and that was probably the most embarrassing moment of my life. So thanks for watching. Subscribe, rate, comment, and favorite this video. Follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. Peace out, guys. I love you.